Sometimes people use respect to mean treating someone like a person. And sometimes they use respect to mean treating someone like an authority. And sometimes people who are used to being treated like an authority say, if you won't respect me, I won't respect you. What they mean is, if you won't treat me like an authority, I won't treat you like a person. And they think that they're being fair, but they aren't, and that's not okay. So I just wanted to start with that quote I read somewhere online, and I don't know if any of you guys ever heard that before. But today, I want to talk a little bit about abuse and people taking advantage of you. And oh my God, anytime I try to find a private spot, someone just pulls up. It's like they smell me trying to be alone. Sorry. So anyway, today I want to talk about abuse, being respected as a human being, and not taking shit from anybody. Another quote I saw was, people ask what you do for a living so they can calculate the level of respect they give you. Right? You ever get that? One of the first questions people ask, oh, what do you do for a living? What's your new job? You know, you go to Thanksgiving dinner and like you cringe because you're, in between jobs, or maybe your great Uncle Sal probably doesn't approve of what you're doing, or you don't think that they would. So, yeah, this is something I've wanted to do for a while. Happy, healthy, alternative mom here, but I wanted to start with that. There's been plenty of times in my life, especially more recently in my adult life, where I've been in situations where I've had to deal with not being respected in jobs. I've had jobs where people were stealing from me and I had to quit, and then, not be able to feed my kid or have employment because someone else was doing something dirty, and there was no proof, or no one wanted to have proof because of nepotism and things like that. In relationships, I don't really talk about this because I don't want to air it out too much, but I've dealt with a lot of really, really harsh abuse in relationships that I've been in, that I've learned from and since moved on from, which is a big part of why I started martial arts to begin with. Actually, the main reason why I started, going to group therapies and things like that. But what I want to say is, like, you don't deserve it. I don't deserve it. And there are ways to break away. And I know when you're in the thick of it, whether it be from an employer, a significant other, a parent even, it's hard to walk away. It's hard to find the strength and even believe you can walk away. Even believe you have the ability to dial 911 and call the cops. They'll help you. They want you to call if you need them to call. If you need to call, trust me. I've had to be in those types of situations where I needed to get the authorities involved. And it's not from anything I did, it's just because the people around me or in these situations can't control themselves, and they want to make it seem like it's your fault. You did something wrong. You triggered them. And there's so many different types of abuse. People don't even think about like financial abuse. Like if your husband makes you write down every penny you spend and hand you money like an allowance, that's abuse, Physical abuse, we know. There's emotional abuse. There's a couple other types. I'm kind of drawing a blank. I had the paper. I should have did my research before I started this video, but psychological abuse, right? But the ones that we often kind of just feel like we deal with this like physical abuse, right? But there's so many ways that people can like just totally take advantage of you or gaslight you, which means like projecting things that they're doing on you. So let's just say someone is, total example, someone's like beating your car with a baseball bat. And then they're like, no, you're beating my car. You're the one doing it. Like something that they're clearly doing wrong. Like they're the ones with the bat in their hand, but they're trying to say you're the one doing it. And they say it in such a way that like you're almost believing them. They'll never admit to the things that they're doing wrong. They'll try to intimidate you into not calling the cops and not going to court and not, you know, getting someone involved. And a lot of people, it's sad because you gotta like keep those people close to you that are willing to fight for you. You know, make those friends that are willing to be on your side and give you good advice. You know, so basically what I'm trying to say is like, you're stronger than what you think you're in right now. You've been in stronger places in your life. You've given other people this kind of advice, I'm sure. And don't let it ruin your day. I don't know how many days I've ruined, how much time I lost with my kid because my mind was somewhere else, because of somebody else thinking they won. You know, don't be intimidated. You trust your gut. Like if your gut's telling you like, no, that's not true. And get advice. Call lawyers, free consultations. You know, there are organizations through the government that will give you free therapy, free group therapy, free advice. Don't be afraid to ask for help. I think that's the biggest thing. People don't want to admit that they feel like they were stupid enough to get into a shitty situation, even with a job, even with work, you know? You know, I have friends who have been in really rough situations with significant others, you know, exes, or even jobs. And it's not your fault for being tricked. People are very manipulative. Some people are like born to be evil and manipulative, and they just know how to get you, and you're just kind of being the nice person you are and thinking everything's okay when it's not, you know? So just remember, like this saying was saying, you know, everyone needs to be treated like a human. If you're not, then that person does not respect you, and you don't have to give them anything to gain respect. That is like a human right. I think we have 39 human rights. Most of us don't know any of them. So I'm doing this as a result of something that happened today and has been happening. And I was a little stressed out, and I figured talking about it might help. And it has. I think so. But I feel myself getting stronger every day. I feel like you all have the ability to get stronger every day. Martial arts helps. Any kind of exercise helps. Friends, good friends help. And don't get caught in the bullshit if it's, you know, not worth it. And none of it's worth it at all. Get away before things get too rough, which is something I wasn't necessarily able to do. You know, I didn't have the support back then who really understood what was going on. In any situation I've been in where it was like a shitty abusive situation. Just if something doesn't feel right in your gut, walk away. Don't give people second chances if things don't feel right. Job, relationship, friendships. Friends take advantage of friends constantly. You know, you're like a doormat for someone. Get rid of old friends. It feels good to purge. Clean your closet out. Get rid of stupid people in your life. You know? But I love you. You look beautiful today. I love your hair. Your skin looks great. Go eat that donut you wanted to eat. And enjoy this summer weather. And keep smiling because it releases, what did I say? Endorphins, makes you happy. So be well, I love you. Stay tuned. Don't get abused.